Okay, Johnny, I want to talk about the best take you ever had our entire cast. Because you called, before there was even smoke or fire, you called this. You said, I don't like Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Yeah,
That
not
is the best
one
take that
bit,
anyone's ever had
one
years
bit,
ago.
one bit. I knew because I was huge in the Flash, and I knew how it's gonna go. And I'm like, this, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And that's before he was a creepy little real life person. This is not gonna work.
Yeah, there was something about the casting that was just off. Like he didn't. So it's kind of like when you hire M Night Shyamalan to make an Avatar movie. Like you don't hire an indie actor who has zero action experience to do a action biopic about children when all of his films are grown up with twists. Like bad move. Don't go there. So it's kind of the same thing. You don't hire the quirky indie dude for someone who's very clearly like the Flash is not a fanboy.
No, and you can make him like the CW had him nerdy. Like you can make him kind of like a little bit of a goofball, but when he's not, and they still did this in the the Flashpoint movie where he's like, "Do you want to hang out and get a drink, Bruce?" Like,
Right.
come
He's kind
on,
of a loser.
yeah,
No, he is a loser. Like,
yeah. I mean, we're all nerdy losers, but you don't need to be like sad about it. I don't know.
with enough prep time, Batman can make you forget that Ezra Miller literally kidnapped someone.
Oh, how it saved
Yikes.
it.
So that was the best take I've ever heard from you. I think
I did do one that I think you kind of forgot about.
let's hear it.
So I said we did our predictions for Endgame, right?
Mm,
I was half right on this, but I said because we didn't know who was going to die, we knew someone was going to die, right? And I
right.
said I hope Captain America dies, but when he dies, he sees Peggy and he goes towards her because that was a Robin Hood thing. And at the end of Endgame, he travels back and ends up with Peggy. So
Pretty
pretty
close.
close on that one. I
I
was proud
really
of that one.
wanted Cap to move on because I think that's true to life. Like, not every relationship works out, and she got remarried, and so I don't know. I kind of wanted him to. You and I both wanted him to
Oh
end
no,
up
no,
with
it
Black
was
Widow.
horrible. I didn't want to get it right. Like it was one of the worst
But you
things
knew
they
it was
did.
coming. I
Yeah,
do remember this.
yeah.
It
One
was.
of the
You're
worst things
like,
they did
I know what
is
they're gonna do.
yeah, it
He's
was
gonna end up with Peggy.
yeah. They kind of teased a little bit him and Widow, which should have worked, but because then they're on the
That's,
run together.
especially if she died, like that would have been. Yeah, they had so much chemistry too.
Yeah, throwing after Civil War when they were trying to throw the Hulk and her together was kind of weird, but they still kind of
Way
called it
weird.
back. Yeah,
Bye bye
um,
bikini season. Oh,
and
I'm
then,
sure you're
yeah,
terrible
yeah,
on that.
right, yeah, and then like was that the first person you kissed? Like they threw things in there, and it was the same brothers who threw it in there, right? That's what got
Yeah.
me even more confused. Which was such a waste of a potential relationship that you could have built on, and they both could have still passed, or she could have passed, and it would have been a little more emotional. But
The actors had so much
yeah,
chemistry too.
well, and
Like
all
it would
yeah,
have
and
been.
it worked. It wasn't like he was forcing a kiss with Peggy's niece. Like it wasn't that weird thing.
Yeah, yeah. It would have been so much more organic
And
if
they
those two
also
had
too
ended up together.
they were on the field together for like 3 years underground together
Yeah.
because he came back for her, and then when they were in the blip area too, the era, he came in and checked in on her. Like he was always very, and you can be caring friends. Don't get me wrong. Like there, you don't always have to have two people get together. I know people are gonna freak out, but don't pitch it that well and then not do it.
Well, and the Peggy thing, like, I don't know, don't turn Captain America into a homewrecker. Like, like
Oh,
that's
the amount
she was
of
married, she had a niece, like
well, no, the amount of
kids.
world destruction he did for staying, because I remember the hierarchy that they try to mix D&D with Marvel characters, like chaotic evil, you're this character, right? You're really bad, and Captain America is technically chaotic good because he does his own thing. I'm like, no, he's chaotic evil now. He broke the timeline to stay back with her.
Yeah,
And I don't know, they were smart, because if you watch it again, you'll notice when she passes, she only has a picture of her and the two boys and never a guy next to her.
so maybe it was always him, right? Like maybe it's the paradox,
But
but
still, it's still
like, how do you justify that?
yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But there's still a lot going on with time travel that he was
Well,
selfish
no,
because he didn't know.
yeah, but like in her past interview, she says like he saved the man who later would be my husband, and
I
she's still
mean, he
clearly in
saved
mourning.
himself, didn't he?
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
though, you can spin it, but it's not.
I
A good spin.
understand you can spin it, but that's clearly not what they were planning.
No, and I was all for him if he wanted to die and let Iron Man live. I don't know. There's just it was not
Iron Man had a family and a girl. I would have liked it if Captain America would have
died, which
passed,
was originally what
and
they were
Iron
going to
Man
do.
would have.
Yeah.
But I get that RDJ needs a way out, like because he can't keep doing it forever. Neither of them
Eh,
could.
it's not what we'll see in 2028, but we'll that's for a future cast.
That was a good take, Johnny. That was a really good take.
Yeah, that
My
was a
best
big tangent.
take.
Yeah.
What do you think my
Seriously.
best take over the years is?
Starting a podcast with me.
That's a pretty good one.
You called Aquaman pretty well. Shazam. You called a lot of the. What got me angry too is you call things faster, and I don't like it because you get it right.
I don't know. I think my best take probably would have been Star Wars. Like I saw the cracks way before anyone else did. I like Force Awakens. I was not on board with it. I was like, no, I don't like this. I was sitting in the theater and I remember thinking, this really isn't for me. Disney's going a direction I don't want to go. And that was when the fan base was pretty, they were all signed off on it. And then The Last Jedi split them in half, and now everything is just tanking. Like, low ratings, low viewership. It's really kind of in the mud, to be honest with you. But I predicted that years ago. I had drawn my red flags and said it isn't going to be good. There's going to be issues. And now even like the most diehard fans are starting to come around and be like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have brought Palpatine back. Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Don't let Abrams do everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe, having Kylo Ren, I don't know. There was a lot I didn't like, but we're not going to get into it. I'm just going to say that I called it years ago. You're all wrong. I'm right.
But The Mandalorian's pretty dope though, right?
Even season 3, like it was good, but it had cracks.
Season 3 was horrible. Ugh.
Had cracks. I love season 1 and season 2.
It wasn't even cracks. Like it was just horrible. Every cast we did, we were whining about it before.
Even season 2 of Mando, it's like Luke takes Baby Yoda away, and then what? He's gonna either die. Like remember, we were like, so what's gonna happen to Baby Yoda? Does he die by Kylo Ren? Because we know where that story goes. Like, why did they do that? And then it's like he's instantly back with Mando. No word. What?
Well, if
or
you
the
think
Dark
about
Saber
it,
storyline.
it was a really cool cameo of Luke Skywalker, so it was all worth it.
Yeah, before he obviously turns into a nephew-killing psychopath, like with Mark Hamill crying on the set. Like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. So that was my big take. The other one, so you and I both called this correctly. Remember how much flack we got for a long time, like 6 months, when we said, "Hey, Marvel after Endgame doesn't feel the same." Like there's off.
we told him to take a 5-year break.
Dude, we called that. That was, I think, our best take of all time.
We're like, it's good, done.
Yeah, both of us were like, Endgame was good. Like let's let it sit for 5 years, and then let's recreate a new storyline that doesn't even need to like focus on the original. Like they're all gone, so like maybe it can be Galactus. Maybe it can be...
do a proper X-Men. Do like a...
Oh my gosh, proper X-Men would have been so sick,
right? With the Disney packaging, backing. Yeah, right. So much opportunity there.
Imagine an X-Men film that was set like 100 years in the future. You know what I mean? And then like the end of it, like I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot you could have done. You could have done the multiverse correctly. You know what I mean? Rather than Wanda killing people. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. We called it. We called it a lot in Eternals. We called it in Loki. We called it in WandaVision, which people still really love. But you and I both said no. Like they're going in a bad direction. It's going to have a lot of fallout. This isn't a good thing.
And it was even before
every
Widow
single film.
Yeah, even before Widow came out,
drastically dropped. Yeah. And we predicted Widow too. We're like, what are they doing? Like,
yeah, we were confused. If we're confused,
yeah. But every single film since then has dropped. Like you can see it, like 200 million, 200 million, 200 million.
What was the
and
Marvels?
Like
didn't
not
even crack
$1 billion.
Right? Did the Marvels not even crack 100 opening weekend?
I can't remember. I don't think it ever cracked 500 million, which is unheard of for Marvel.
I know. They had like the worst opening box office.
Marvel typically hits $1 billion for films.
They just throw it out. They vomit it, and it'll make money.
Yeah, 750 million easy. Like most of $1 billion, I should say. Like not necessarily, but like 500 million
every time. They don't lose money.
It was a money printing machine, and I think the Marvels would be the first one they lost money on.
And the Eternals too, though. That one was horrible.
Yeah, but that one still made money because people were curious what was happening, even though it was trash. But that was, you and I started calling it right then. We're like, okay, if this is a film they're making, like they might have some one-off okay ones, like not the Ten Rings,
that's what I'm thinking too.
Shang-Chi. Yeah, it was good. It was
I like
fine.
that one a lot. I like that one a lot.
But like we called it. We were like, no, we're done. The minute T'Challa died, I said Marvel's going to be dead because he was the future. I think Black Panther was the future, and the minute he passed away, it ruined it all.
Yeah, it was and even then I think it would have been like a Guardian scenario where the Black Panther 2 would have just been a great epic, but not necessarily leading into a 12-year pickup for something, right?
Yeah, maybe not.
But
But
it
you
would have been a
completely
great
lose
movie.
the option. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
So
what they're known
Guardians
for, right?
Guardians 3, did you like that one?
It was okay. It wasn't like everyone's like, you'll be in tears the whole time. And I've been a wreck, but that didn't get me in tears.
Oh,
It was
what did you say? You've been a wreck?
yeah, the whole time. So I thought I would have cried.
Oh.
That didn't get me in tears at all. Like, I like that they brought up Rocket and gave him an origin story, right?
Okay, going back to though
I was
to
just saying the Guardians 3 had a good like origin story for Rocket, which I didn't know anything about, which I thought was kind of cool. But it wasn't anything to run to finish to watch.
right. I'll watch it again. Like that's the mark of a good film. Will I watch it more than once? Yes, I'll
Oh,
watch.
really? You
I'll
would?
watch it again. I would watch it more than once, but I would have to watch the other two first.
Oh yeah.
Finish
Like,
it, you know.
I can watch Civil War whenever, and it's fine. But the other ones I kind of want to work around. I haven't
Winter
touched Iron
Soldier.
Man 3.
Is that what you mean? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Of the third films across the board.
Yeah. But I'm saying like I can watch a lot of Marvel movies right off the bat, but that's not one of them. Like,
Yeah.
I love Ragnarok. I'll watch that one just out of just that one.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Winter Soldier, I still think is the best one made.
That's what I meant is Winter Soldier. I said Civil War, huh? Oh,
Civil War is good too.
I know, but Winter
it's not
Soldier is like a
as good.
good movie. Yeah.
Dude,
'Cause
I
it's
watched that at the
different.
gym.
Yeah.
If I'm doing
Winter Soldier is
stairs
one of my
or
favorite
walking.
ones. Actually, it is my favorite. I think we did a cast and it was my favorite one. I know
It's the
you
best
loved
one.
Infinity War, right? That was your top one.
Yeah, Infinity War was just such a good culmination, but Winter Soldier has taken the lead again for me.
It's a great one. And I even like Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not the third one. The second one was fine. Like it's just its own little thing.
I commented recently, someone was talking about the most BA moment in film ever, and I had commented that it was Captain America in the elevator, and
It's
it
a
got all
bad,
these
dude, I love
likes.
it.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes close is the Daredevil Netflix series
Oh,
when
so
the
good.
Punisher he was in jail and he had a hallway and they were all fighting him in the jail. That was really cool.
Brutal.
Yeah. So that was one of the few times. With that elevator, to me, it's even more like condensed spacing, right? So, and it's just an all around good around movie because they set you up to think that Cap and Widow are gonna do something, then they take it away because she looks bad in a bikini. Ugh.
I'm sure you look horrible. Dude, so the best part about the elevator is like it treats its audience like adults. Captain America, you're seeing with him, he's putting together that they're after him. Like the strike team's coming in, he's seeing like someone's got their hand on the gun, he's seeing the sweat, and he's putting it together. And they're not like saying it like you don't hear his internal dialogue. Oh my goodness, blah, 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 you know, like to hit you over the head with it. But it's like, you know, something's up. And then he has that coolest line of all time before we get started. Doesn't even want to get out.
Oh,
Like he's already in his head, he's already calculated that he's going to win this fight, and so he's just going to let him know. He's not going to sneak attack him.
and that's when he does him normal, right? His little sarcastic is like, you know, you don't look. I bet you look good in a bikini. Normal, not forcing himself to kiss his niece.
Forcing himself on.
I did not think I had so much brent up rage on this 8 years later, but I still have pent up issues.
Who's like a war criminal now? I guess. Like if you watch the show Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the niece is
she's
a war criminal.
bad. Yeah, right. Like she's selling drugs and like guns through other things. Like she's
like not like borderline. It's like no, you're straight evil. Like
yeah. Like she's legitimately like a warlord, right? Like she's.
Whoa! I'll sell drugs and and weapons, but I draw the line at racism.
You draw the line at racism?
You can tolerate racism? Anyway,
yeah.
The Marvels made $206 million
overall
worldwide.
That is awesome. I don't even know where to go on that one. I
think Iron Man made more. The original Iron Man, I think, made more. I think it made like 400 or 500 million.
Jeez.
Brutal.
And that's because they. I mean, you and me. Well, we called that one too. We didn't love Captain Marvel.
Yeah, we watched it. I haven't watched it since, but we watched it just because we wanted to see what was going on, you know, for Endgame. But it literally like Control Alt Delete like a lot of stuff in the MCU that was already established. Really frustrating.
And also, it made it not want to. You need to have, especially because I built it for so long. You need to have an emotional tie with these characters, and we couldn't.
Yeah, she was just shoehorned in at the end.
And so, Knights, to prove it to you guys, we're not fanboys. Marvel can do wrong.
No, we've been calling these red flags forever, which is so bad because we were saying like if it continues to be good, we'll love it forever. But
forever and ever. I mean, I still like because people don't realize this, but we lean towards DC a little bit if we had to. We know a lot more deep cuts on DC, but we knew that DC wasn't going to do anything for a while. I did like the Justice League, the remake they did, the Zack Snyder cut, but it wasn't enough to save anything. It was just, oh, cool. I'm glad I watched it.
it was a fun artistic film.
Yeah, it was better. It was a nice, 4-hour movie, but
Yeah. I want to. Okay. Do we have any other? I think our best takes. I'm trying to think. I think those were our best takes of all
pretty
time.
Awesome.
Seriously.
I mean, the worst take was me thinking that Starfield was going to be the game of the year. I knew it wasn't. I was just trying to tell myself it was going to be.
I think we did predict Legacy. I think we both said. I think we did a reaction trailer and both said that it was going to be pretty fantastic. But that was kind of low hanging fruit.
I'll take the claim for that.
Yeah, we're smart. Okay, Johnny, let's do some. So we're looking to the future. We're going to do some. I want quick answers. These are going to be YouTube shorts. Okay. You ready for it? Yeah. This is going to be. I want a hot take from you. Yeah, yay, no.
Ready.
Okay. Will the Community movie be good?
Yes. Because we're just such simp fanboys that no matter what they throw at us, we're going to love it.
Okay. Will it come out in 2024?
No.
Okay. So Joel McHale said he thinks it's going to come out by a 2024 holiday release, which would be like December 25th. But if he's saying that, I think you're right. I think it's going to be a 2025 movie.
I just think because of the writer's strike and everything had to stop. And to get a little bit more into it, Dan Harmon's been making horrible cartoons. I'm sorry. He just dropped one for Fox. It's horrible. Crapopolis. Just horrible. Rick and Morty just finished, and that's been suffering, but that has a lot to do with, is it Justin
Schofield?
Yeah. His the one of the main voices and the guy who runs a lot of it too had issues, so he had to leave the show for a while.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I think that's what's taking it, even though he wrote the movie 8 years ago and all this, but that writer strike I think is what really delayed it. If there was no writer strike, I think it would have happened because it's a made for streaming movie, right? It's going to be out on, I think, Peacock, whatever streaming site NBC owns.
Yeah.
And they're gonna. Would it be better with everyone in it? Yeah. Would you and me be? It's like the first Psych movie when they made the first Psych movie after the TV show. Oh, it was the best. They did the best promos for it because they released Sean and Gus getting into shape to being Sean and Gus, which I think you and me are going to steal a cameo version of that pretty soon. So the buildup was great. They went to cons. That's the kind of thing Community is going to do. They're going to get you hyped for it, but it's not going to be as great as it's going to be, but we're going to love it regardless. I'm just going to say, if you don't know Community, you watch it, you're going to be, this is dumb. But if you're a Community fan, a simp as we are, you're going to love it.
I love that. I agree. Okay. Will Disney rebound? So when I say Disney, I mean Marvel, Star Wars, Disney Princess Animation, Disney Animation, and then Pixar. So those 4 pieces. Will any of them rebound, or are they all? Because none of them have done well. Elemental did fine. But overall, all of them have really struggled. The Disney one, the latest Disney animation, really struggled. I don't even know what it's called.
They're redoing. They're not even redoing. They're continuing the X-Men 1997 cartoons. I think that's going to help if you want to put it that broad of a range, because the fan base is dying to see it. And it's going to be like when the Young Justice got bought by HBO and they released more seasons, right, and it helped it a lot. But overall net gain, I don't think they're going to be where they're at. They're still going to be successful. We're still going to watch. I keep calling it the Mandalorian Avengers movie, right? Because they're going to get everyone Boba Fett. They're going to make a big movie, but that's not for 3 more years because they have to do one more season of everything. I think that's going to be great. But will Daredevil help it out? Daredevil's supposed to be coming, right? Is it this year?
Dude, but Echo was terrible. And Echo had Daredevil in it, had Kingpin in it, and it was terrible.
It did have Kingpin in it.
Terrible, right? Johnny. So here's my hot take. I think that Disney is going to totally go downhill. They're going to completely car crash. They already have, but even more so. I think Marvel is just, they're going to have to put it on hold for 5 years. Star Wars, I think it'll be fine. But it's not going to be like what you expect. I mean, they bought it for $2 billion. Pixar, the unfortunate thing about Disney is they don't really have a great creative team, I think. Like, if you look at, they acquire Marvel and they had 20 movies mapped out. And so then they finished that. And then you get the Eternals when it turns into crap. And you get, the Marvels. This is what Disney is creatively doing. It's not Falcon and the Winter Soldier was already planned out. Excuse me, Captain America and the Winter Soldier was already planned out. Like that was when Disney acquired it, that was already in motion and they just let them finish it. Now we're into the Disney stage and they clearly stink. Star Wars, they completely threw out George Lucas's films. So they drove that into the ground. And then Pixar, when they purchased Pixar, it had a bunch of films lined out as well. And we're through that. And now you're getting movies that aren't as good. I'm not saying they're terrible movies, but like what's the one with the strong girl and the family that like gives wishes or superpowers? Encanto is fine, right? Like it's not great though. Okay, Encanto is fine, but it's not Cars and it's not The Incredibles. Elemental, it's fine. Like it's not, Toy Story. Well, I don't like Toy Story, but it's not a Bug's Life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not just a nostalgic play for me. Like Incredibles is an amazing movie. Incredibles 2 is trash. Like, so that's my hot take is like right now Disney stock is halved. I think it's going to half again. I think they're going to hire a new CEO. They're in big trouble because their creative team is just not creative.
I was going to say there's nothing to save it. They're not going to get a Frozen to pull out to just change everything.
Nope. I mean, they have plenty of money, the hordes, but they're bleeding right now because Disney streaming is not doing that well. It's not profitable.
What have you watched the Percy Jackson stuff real quick?
I actually like that they did that. I haven't watched it yet, but
okay,
I'm excited
because I've been hearing I haven't either because I want to bulk it out, but I've heard really good things about it by people that are hypercritical.
Yeah.
But that's like a show that Netflix can make. It's nothing to save it. They're not gonna. It's not gonna be like a Baby Yoda coming out of that. That's gonna change the way people build into Disney, or let it have a crappy season and you're fine still.
Right.
No, I don't see any of these superheroes. That's my bold prediction as well. No superhero movie is gonna break $1 billion. I think this year at all. I don't know if that's bold.
I think you're right. I think the only one that even had Joker? A hope was Joker 2.
Yeah. And that's not a superhero movie because it's its own thing, but I guess it is DC based. That's the only one
still,
I see.
I don't think it's going to do it.
Would you consider Dune that or just sci-fi?
Dune is sci-fi, strictly sci-fi, not superhero. Okay, I'm going to agree with you, Johnny, and say I like that take. That's going to be one of us together. High five.
Yay.
No superhero film. That was so cute.
I know.
No superhero film is going to break $1 billion moving forward for the next 10 years, would be how I put it. The next 5. Let's go 5. Let's go 5.
Yeah.
5.
Because there is, isn't your boy Gunn making a new Superman, right?
That will do it. And it's probably 4 or 5 years out, I think.
Okay. I mean, and there's a ton
Let's say
talk.
The next 3. We'll settle on 3.
And there's a lot of talk for a new Batman, being actors we really liked. The one from Supernatural and the one from Alan. I forget his name. I love him. He's on Jack Reacher right now, right? There's been talks about a new Batman. Yeah.
I think you're bringing up a good point. Okay, here's my bold take. I actually think DC under James Gunn is going to do pretty well. I think because you have such strong characters. So when you have Iron Man and you have, like they had lightning in a bottle with RDJ, but like you can't do the same thing. Like I didn't care about any of those guys growing up. Thor, the Hulk, I didn't even really know them. But you bring in Superman and Batman, and it's like these are these superheroes. Like they make $1 billion even if the movie's terrible.
Harder, though, because if they do it wrong,
I don't think they're going to do it wrong.
I don't know, dude. I don't have any faith in Gunn.
So here we're split. So I think Gunn is going to do a great job, and you think that it's going to be trash.
I want it to burn. I keep telling you, I want it to burn.
Who would you? Yeah, you want Dave Filoni to be in charge of DC.
He'd be better, but I wouldn't put. I don't want anyone involved in that was from Marvel too. They just got to be their own thing and do it different. There's a lot out there that can do it.
What if it was the Russo brothers? What if they got the job? Would that?
They kind of messed up a lot on Endgame. They loved him on Winter Soldier.
Civil War, Infinity War. They did great. But
I hope that they do a little bit of Community because I know that was the rumor is for them to direct Community, because that would be amazing. That one I'll
Yeah, I
support
know
that
they're
one
not on the
100%.
writing team, but a director hasn't been announced yet, so it could be them.
Yeah, yeah, and I know that's more of like that help slingshot them to where they're at. And a lot of times too, it's only one brother that does it, but still, as long as one's involved, um, I wouldn't mind them. I feel like at least if they don't need to do a 10-year picture, maybe, because everyone knows the backstories of a lot of these, like how they
Yeah,
rushed it, right? You don't need to revamp anything.
I don't want to see Martha Wayne get shot with the
No,
pearls
and we
ever
don't want to
again.
see Clark Kent growing up on a farm.
Yeah, I'm okay with like quick flashbacks, but even that, like, meh.
Yeah,
I,
it needs to
I'd
be,
rather not.
unless it's someone new. You know way more about Booster Gold than I do. But so if they did like
Right.
a whole thing for that, I would love it. Take advantage of, if they need to, HBO, right? That's a streaming site. Build like a 6 miniseries so we know who it is, and then you can push it up and not worry about wasting the movie.
Sometimes I struggle with miniseries versus just because of budget and CGI and all that. Like Daredevil is a great example of what you can do, and it works awesome. Like Daredevil fit really well in the MCU, even though like because it was an enclosed story. But I don't like. I'm trying to think. Like Loki is a good example. Like I thought some of the quality of the Loki show wasn't quite like cinematic quality, and so there's a little bit of a contrast for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why you need it as a before. If you do it before, not after. That's what I'm saying.
Or
Do
have it be
them.
fully enclosed where it's
Yeah,
not like it ties in, but not in the way you're thinking. You know
yeah.
what I
Like
mean?
we didn't see Daredevil in the movies. We saw him as um Peter
His
Parker's
own
lawyer.
story.
Yeah, like the
Exactly.
first cinematic thing he did was Peter Parker's story. So that was why it was cool.
Yeah.
That's
But he
just
was
a
so
suggestion.
grounded, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the CGI was so little and you just don't have the budget for, like She-Hulk. Like she looks terrible. Like so don't do that and then expect it to be cinematic, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, I don't blame the CGI artists because they don't have enough time, but um well, and budget, That's my point though. Imagine if you took
Dude,
She-Hulk and gave it the budget, how good it would have looked if you
I
gave it the
will
proper
say this,
budget.
man. I've yet no Hulk have, even in the MCU, was I like, dang, that they all look cartoony to me.
Yeah.
And but you kind of have to with them, right?
Yeah.
But never have I, unless it was like the back in the 70s with Lou Ferrigno. Like that was the Hulk. Like that looked great. But
Yeah.
that's not how we can do it nowadays, right? Because sadly, Thor is bigger than Lou Ferrigno
Yeah.
when he was the Hulk. Because that's just how the world is now, right? There's
Right.
bigger actors. They grow their bodies bigger. So you have to make the Hulk look CGI just to match his counterparts.
Yeah. Which is okay, but you need to have a good enough budget to where you have the time and the resources. Anyway, that's a tangent. All right, give me another hot take real quick.
There won't be another good video game come out this year because I think they dropped too many on 2023 because of delays. So I don't think that we're gonna have the flood of awesome games coming out this year.
Watch the new Skyrim. Just like
No,
surprise,
dude, that one's like a
surprise.
100,000 years
2026.
away.
I know.
We wish it's 2030.
Could you imagine if it was 2026? Oh, Johnny, I'm quitting my job, and you and I
I'm
are just
shocked you
playing
still
video
would have a
games.
job by now. I would be quitting, get ready 2 years out.
I like that. Okay, I'll bandwagon on that one. Okay, I agree. Like we won't have any major releases this year.
And nothing because we had so many. That's the thing. If you get one this year, cool. But there's no game. Like I was hyped every quarter, every 3 to 4 months. I was hyped for a new game to come out. Not one this year.
Yeah, I don't know of any coming up that I'm like woohoo at all.
Right? Nothing coming out. I'm going to say, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I believe the writer strike will have a delayed effect, and no show because they're only have a shortened season are going to be great this year.
I like that. I agree. No good shows. I think there'll be a few good movies. So let me ask you this, Johnny. Give me a hot take. What will be the highest grossing film of 2024? Predict it.
I want to say Dune, just because it's people have been talking about that one nonstop.
Dune 2.
Yeah, Dune 2. Sorry, yeah.
I like that. Here's my bold take for you. I think that the highest grossing film of 2024 will be Gladiator 2.
Really? I
I
thought
think
you would
so.
have said Beetlejuice.
I thought you were going to say Deadpool 3, to be honest with you.
That would be great. I mean,
So will that break $1 billion? Because we just had a prediction that no superhero film will break $1 billion. Will Deadpool 3?
Yeah, I think we're gonna out talk ourselves because that one.
I don't know, bro. I don't know that it's going to be good.
Yeah, but it has 2 billionaire stars in it. Like they're both gonna drive it.
You're right. Okay, that might be the exception.
Yeah, because
we may have screwed ourselves on that.
Yeah, or not maybe because like Madam Web's coming out. No one cares about Madam Web. Cool,
no, it's
but
200 million maybe. I could see it. Here's the thing: is I could see it like making 700 million.
Madam
and
Web?
then people just no. Deadpool 3.
Okay.
And not quite getting there. You know what I mean? $1 billion is a big movie. That's Barbie.
And it's R, right?
It's hard to do with an R-rated film.
They did it once, which is amazing.
Joker, the only time.
Well, no, I thought Deadpool did it, the first one.
I think they were like 800 million.
Okay.
I think Joker's the only $1 billion R-rated film.
What do you think about Kung Fu Panda? We said no animation's going to do well.
It'll do fine. It'll make 500 million. I'm getting very
really
specific.
That much? Okay.
I bet. Here's my kind of dark horse. I think Despicable Me 4 is going to make a lot of money.
The Despicable
Minions made a ton of money.
I was going to say, right?
Yes.
And they're going to release it. And here's how it wins. If there's not a lot going out and parents need to take kids to stuff, right?
Yeah. I agree. Like you play a card where the kids like it, and then like teenagers like it, and then adults will go see it. Like I'll go see it if it's good. If it gets really high reviews, I'll go see it.
Well, I mean, and it's 4, so the first one came out in like 2007, so we've kind of grew up a little bit with it.
Yeah. I was like 13 when the first one came out. I went on a date and held the girl's hand.
Wow. And that girl's name is Mark.
Maybe I was 16. Because I didn't go on dates when I was 13.
Yeah, I know. I was like, dang.
That girl's name is Mark.
You just caught on to that now.
Well, I was thinking about my timeline.
I don't know, dude. Okay, here's my most random take. Beetlejuice 2 will just be okay.
That's not a dark one. No.
I really think Beetlejuice 2, if it comes out when I think it's gonna come out, which is closer to the fall. That's gonna be hard because it's gonna go against the Joker. I should have done better research on this.
Okay, Johnny, real quick. Deadpool 1 made 782 million, not $1 billion. Deadpool 2 made 785.
Get out.
So are we really thinking that Deadpool 3 while we're having a dip in superhero films is gonna make $1 billion? I think we're safe. I think our prediction is gonna hold true.
Yeah, I forget the love for Logan, man. Wolverine.
I don't know. I don't think Logan made $1 billion though.
I know, but the cry out for what happens, I think, is
620 million.
Yeah, and
it's such a big number to get to $1 billion for an R-rated film. I just don't see it happening.
If they crack 700, it's a win for them.
Like, I agree, but I think we're safe. For the last 20 years. Not 20, last 15 years, last 10 or 15, every year we've had $1 billion film that was superhero. You know what I mean? Like, pretty much. Maybe it was every other year, but still, it's like every other year we're getting at least one of them. Whether it's this, that, or the other. I don't know. So, yeah, that's kind of my hot take. I think we're actually going to be okay.
Good, because I don't want to backtrack.
Okay, Johnny.
Back to the line, nerds.
I want to hear a dark horse movie for you. So a film that you think is going to do really well that isn't getting any hype right now.
I want it to do well. It comes out pretty soon. Argyle.
That was my pick. You jerk.
That's such a layup though. Who's in it? Henry
Cavill.
And are we gonna not bet against him? It's a spy movie.
I know.
It's not James Bond, but it's not James Bond, right?
It just feels like the film that like is gonna do pretty well.
But I literally only really saw a lot of hype for it like this week.
I've seen it for a bit, but yeah,
I'm saying like more
overdone.
Trailers, more
like a ton. Yeah, I agree. That was my pick.
Well,
dog.
I mean, it's also kind of rough out there. Like Snow White. I'm not gonna go for Snow White,
Look.
and it'd be easy to like. Madam Web could. I. Spider-Man. Anything Spider-Man is still really good, and I think it's gonna do better than the other Marvel movies that have released.
Yeah,
But
but no.
that's saying like you're the tallest kid sitting next to me. Like you're gonna be taller than me. It's not hard. So.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for like.
And I think that Madam Web is
So
not
mad at
Disney,
you.
right? I think it's
Yeah.
I think
There's
it's
another
Sony.
film. I'll pick a different dark horse real quick.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3, obviously.
No.
No.
It's called The Fall Guy. It's Ryan Gosling. He's a stuntman that becomes a hitman. Looks funny. I like the director. Whatever. I'm so mad you picked Argyle. That was
We
my
could have the
pick.
same.
Fine, let's have the same.
I really thought we were going to be off on this one because you really want James Gunn to do well and I don't. So I thought we were going to be very off this year. Because we've
Clearly
been complaining about for the past 3 years, anytime anyone's loved something, we've both hated it, no matter what.
Yeah.
We've yet people tell us, have you guys had one positive thing about anything that's dropped? We're like, no. And then Hogwarts, we played that. We're like, hey, Hogwarts is actually not bad. It's pretty fun.
We had a few. We both.
And then we lost our mind on
and...
Severance and don't shut up about it.
Yeah, we're just getting old. I think
I think we are just grumpy.
All right, hot take. What is going to be hurt the most from the writer's strike? Last hot take.
I think just delay in everything. So what's going to be hurt is enthusiasm for shows to come out. The enthusiasm.
I think there's going to be a new lower bar for shows and movies in terms of return and viewability.
Because what's going to happen is like shows that this happened on the first one. A lot of shows didn't get past season 5 or 3 because we lost momentum and hype. And when it came back, the viewership was low and then they lost it. So I think it's just going to be enthusiasm for shows that don't have backing. It's going to ruin it.
I worry about that for Dune. When you delay a movie 4 or 5 years, it's like, is this suddenly Zoolander 2?
It could be. No, this one had a bigger. I think Dune will be. I think I might like Dune 2 more than the first one.
Will you lose? Like, will it do as well as the first? The first one wasn't like.
I think I'm gonna like the second one. That's my hot take. I'll like Dune 2 more than I liked 1.
Okay.
Did 1 come out in theaters or was it straight? Was that when it came out?
2021 in theaters.
It didn't come out straight to. I swear I watched it like next. Like they did a hybrid where you.
You're right. Yeah, you could see it in theaters because it was during the pandemic, and so they weren't sure what to do.
I think that might make it better because more people be tempted to go to the theater.
Oh, Johnny, you're so smart. You're so.
Because I don't watch movies fast, so for me to have watched
smart.
that as fastly as you did, as quick as you had, I knew it had to be on a streaming site.
Johnny, you're so smart.
Well, we're gonna see because when we relive our predictions, we're gonna see how wrong or right we got it, Knights. Because I'm feeling pretty good.
Very excited about these predictions, actually.
Knights,
what are your big predictions? Go ahead, Johnny. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say I think we're gonna both be. I don't know. Here's my last one. Sorry, this one I want to bring up with you because we've talked about it. What do you think your hype is gonna be for the? What's your most hyped movie you want to see this year?
Do you have one? Because I need a second.
Yeah, I want it. Mine is the Joker and Harley Quinn. Because I brought it up to you and you were like money grab, and I'm like, I know, but I think it's gonna be really good.
That's okay. That's my hot take that people won't agree with. But Joaquin Phoenix comes out and he's like, I'm not going to do a sequel. The director comes out. He's like, oh, this isn't a money grab. And then it makes $1 billion. And they're like, well, I guess we can add to this story. And it's like, no, come on, guys. This isn't The Legend of Korra. Like, don't money grab on me.
And that's what I remember being like, we're going to be off this year because I'm like, I'm so stoked for this. I think it's going to be great. Harley Quinn. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be of one time too, where someone who's established as a Harley Quinn within like 5 years won't be missed. Yeah. I think Lady Gaga's going to do a great job as Harley Quinn. So it's not like they're going to be bantering for, what's the Barbie lady's name?
Like what's Margot Robbie's name?
Yeah. So they're not going to be like, Margot Robbie's the only Harley Quinn I know.
You
know what I mean? So I don't think there's going to be that type of anger.
Right.
With this, right?
Like Christian Bale is the only Batman.
Right, yeah. And that makes sense because he was awesome. But I also, you and me both like Affleck. It's not.
I love Kevin Conroy.
That voice. Oh, sorry.
So sad he died.
I've been watching a lot of classic ones and just those cartoons were done right.
I love that Mark Hamill is like, I'm good. I'm not going to do it anymore without him. Like, they were buds. They went out to lunch and you know what I mean? Like,
they it kept him like relevant. Like he knew what that was. Like that dual ship was just amazing. And the older we get, the more I recognize like we were spoiled with those cartoons. Those were cartoons for kids.
So spoiled. Even in the Justice League, when Joker makes an appearance, it's Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy does
Oh yeah.
Batman.
I mean,
Like
they kept it too. That they were really smart. That studio. They what's the robot?
Cyborg.
Cyborg. Yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm just off today.
Next time I'm
Cyborg.
giving you Adderall or a
Yeah.
kiss.
I know.
Which one?
That's all I need.
Going back
Cyborg.
to
He was the same guy for like 12 years, like in every like format of it, which is smart because we're used to that voice.
even in Teen Titans.
Yeah. He redid a lot of
Little Bob.
yeah. So when he does it, like he it's the same dude. So it's really cool.
I love that. I really love that. Okay, you asked me what my most anticipated film.
Because last year was Oppenheimer, right?
Yeah. This is really hard because it's a year where you have a lot of films that I think are going to be good, but I have to pick one that I think is going to be great, and I don't have one off the top of my head. So,
Are you gonna say Gladiator? Because the Gladiator was great.
no, I think that one will make the most money. I'm nervous about where it'll go.
Beetlejuice is gonna be great too. Don't get me wrong. I know we're sleeping on Beetlejuice, but
I think The Fall Guy. I'm going to go back to it. So I joined you on Argyle being like a
it's a
secret
sleeper
hit.
pick. It's a sleeper
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah, exactly. The dark horse pick. I think The Fall Guy is going to be a film that I really love, where it's it's David Litch who's the director, and he did like Deadpool
Bullet
2,
Train.
John Wick. Yeah, he did the original John Wick, so I like that director. I think I'm going to really enjoy that film because I like Ryan Gosling too.
When have him and Blunt not made a great movie though? All kidding aside.
Yeah, and she's in it too. Yeah. You're
Yeah.
so smart.
Well,
Johnny, I can't get over
googled it real quick because I didn't know it doesn't come out till May, so I wasn't in a hurry to look at it. But then I looked. I'm like, when they get together, there's few like every generation has on-screen duos that don't go wrong, right?
Right.
And our timeline right now, it's Gosling and Blunt.
What else are they in?
Oh no, I'm thinking of. You can edit this part. It's not Blunt. I'm thinking of.
No, it's okay. Were you thinking Anna de Armas?
No, I was thinking of another actress, Emily.
Okay. Does she do stuff with Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, I probably not even Emily. It's just that's how awesome I am right now.
I love it. Okay, no, I think
But Emily Blunt is amazing though, because look at her in freaking everything she's
Edge of
done.
Tomorrow. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think those are some good takes, Johnny. Anything you want to say before we close?
No, Ninth, glad we're back. Hit us up and keep voting on ours that have nothing to do with trivia. We're doing great. I love it. I love it for us. It really is so much fun to engage and to see. And we love when you guys get angry that you miss it. Keep texting us.
Special thanks to Costco for sponsoring this video.
And shout out to Disney. We still have to thank the overlords in case they find us and cancel us.
Yeah, it's so true. Shout out to Disney for existing, I guess. Knights, what's your hot take? Will Dune be good? Will The Fall Guy be good? What about Agent Argyle? Let us know in the comments below, and we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Flippity flip.